What is up, my fellow Sackers? I'm here with Stephen VQ, who just top 8'd YCS Rhode Island. What's up, Stephen?
What's up, guys? Happy to be back.
We totally didn't record for like 10 minutes, and then I realized the audio was whack, so this is our second time. But real quick, just want to say, people probably like, why do I care about watching like an interview with a top 8 Value Turbo player? Happens like every YCS. For those who don't know, this is Steven's third Ultimate Time Wizard top, and we figured out earlier, but there's only like what, 6 people who have 3 or more Ultimate Time Wizard tops.
Yeah.
You, me, Frazier, Rick, Dan Rose, and Cairo.
Cairo and me, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we're missing someone, but 6 probably only. If we're missing someone, it's probably only one person. I can't even think of it.
Yeah, that's a pretty elite group. I feel happy to be a part of it. What's up, guys?
yeah, I think it's crazy. Like I was saying before, I had to we had to re-record, but consistency is, in my opinion, much more impressive than like a one-shot wonder win. Because like if it's your day, like you're gonna win, right? But in a card game, especially in Yu-Gi-Oh! Edison format, where all we're trying to do is like control variance, like consistency to me is much more impressive. So kudos to you, Steven. 3 times is crazy. Yeah, just I mean, I already asked you this, but how do you feel about joining that group of players that top so many times?
It's awesome. I used to play very competitively back in the day, up until like 2015. Like whatever set came after Burning Abyss, the very next one.
Mm-hmm.
So, and back then, I was considered pretty dang good too, but like I didn't have like as much success as I do now. And so taking a break for like 10 years and then coming back and like old man Steven being better than like, locked in super razor sharp 18-year-old is like kind of impressive. I didn't expect to, get there,
Do you play a lot of Edison like right now? Or do you kind of like talk about it, think about it? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, talk and think a lot. Yeah, we have obviously like the Orlando players group chat where we talk a lot. But I actually I hadn't played Edison since Orlando because I got back into I got back into fighting games just as something to do like where I don't actually have to leave my house, which was pretty cool. And I've been spending a lot of time doing that. And Edison, obviously, I dedicated like a solid year of my life to it in 2023 to 2024-ish. So, and I only really play one deck. Obviously, I played Machina for one event, but I really only have been playing Value since even 2022. So I don't really feel like I need reps as long as I'm keeping up with the meta and looking at trends and seeing what's popular and stuff like that. I think that's really all you need.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah, I think that is pretty much standard across the board for the people that, are like really into it. But this top 8 in particular felt a little bit bittersweet because there was like a dispute between me and my opponent in top 8 in game number 1 where I'm not going to get into it. Like some people have already been talking about it, and like the last thing I want is for it to blow up into something that it doesn't need to be. But there was a dispute that happened. It was very amicable between both of us. There's no hard feelings or anything. And like he understands why I'm upset and but it is what it is. And I was really salty about that. And then on the plane ride home, I went with my friends Rob the Man and Ken, and we're all like on an aisle together, and they're like just like sleeping on the plane. And then it hit me. I was like, guys, and I waked them up. I'm like, I misplayed in game 3. I don't have to be upset anymore. I was like, I deserve to lose, so it's okay. It's okay. Because when stuff like that happens, I think the average person's always like, dang, what would have been like if if this and that happened or whatever. But one thing that like if you misplay, right? And you shouldn't win if you misplay. So basically in game 3, I'm at 1700 life, and he has the dupe block plus a face down flip flop frog. In his hand is swap frog for sure because he bounced it, and I think it was salvage, but it doesn't really matter. And I have 2 back row and a set monster. So he flip summons the flip flop frog to bounce my creature, and he summons the swap frog. And if he turns the dupe frogs to attack mode, it's exactly 17, which is lethal. Little does he know, my top deck for that turn was Mirror Force. So he switches the dupes to attack and attacks. And I'm still like super flustered from the thing that happened in game 1. So I just like flipped the Mirror Force. I'm like, yep, this is my Hail Mary. This Mirror Force is probably going to get me there, I hope. And so like his frogs all go to grave, and he searches some cards, and he ends up coming back because he has like pitch for like I don't remember. It doesn't matter. He ended up coming back, and the dupe searches mattered tremendously.
Right.
Um, but what I didn't tell you guys is that my other set back row was Royal Oppression. So I could have gone like activate Royal Oppression, Chain Mirror Force to make the dupes miss timing, and then I don't think there's any way that he could win there.
Right.
Because I have Fossil Dyna in hand and Vayu set up in grave, so I make the Armor Master, then summon Dyna, and then I can just attack for game over the course of 2 turns. So once I realized that I misplayed and totally deserved to lose game 3, like the salt kind of just like washed away, and it was like, you know what, I'll get him next time. I'll try again at Nats, and so
because it was in your control.
Yeah, it was in my control, and I chose to lose that game. So that's on me. It's okay.
Oh, dude, your mentality is so freaking good. I wish everyone had that mentality. It's such a good mentality.
The community would be a better place if everyone understood how to lose.
Yeah, it really would be. But yeah, enough chat about that. Let's talk about the deck list, because it's definitely not the Sizzle 41. So I guess the main thing is just double Royal Oppression.
That's really the only I guess spicy thing. Yeah. Really the thing with Royal Oppression is, I know, so it got, the first time that I thought about it was when I thought back to the conversation you and I had before Nats of last year, how we were talking about maybe it's time to put double Royal Oppression back in the main for this event because Amaryllis or whatever, and then we both decided that it was not good. And then I remember, and then I guess Rick remembered that conversation, ended up playing the event with double Royal Oppression, and was completely successful. So he was ahead of it. But thinking back to that conversation, I was like, well, maybe I should explore this again, because decks that I really don't want to the decks that I want an edge against are Forgs and Gigavise and GBs and Machina, because I feel like especially GBs and Machina are picking up a lot, especially GBs.
Yep. Especially now.
Especially now, yeah. But I feel like I have more than enough experience to navigate a Vayumir or the Blackwing matchup to where I just really hope that the Royal Oppression does not bite me.
What the fuck?
I think you're muted. You took a sip of something.
No, I just whispered, what the fuck? How can you be so confident?
Oh. No, well, no, I mean, it obviously, if you draw it when you shouldn't draw it, you lose. But against Blackwings, they Blizzard, and then you can Royal Oppression. Yeah, you got your 1-for-1, and it's probably not going to do anything else. And then against Vayu, just hope they plague, I guess. I don't know. But against Vayu, it's extra super special bad. But I did end up playing 3 Blackwings and a Vayu. So
4?
Yeah, I played 3 Blackwings and a Vayu deck, and I didn't see Royal Oppression in either of those game 1s, so I just got super lucky. So yeah, so it actually won me 2 games completely by itself, and it lost me 0 games. But statistically, just looking at my matchups, it probably wasn't worth main decking.
Would you main deck both going forward still?
I don't know. It's I did having the extra sideboard space because I got to main the Royal Oppression. And it's yeah, I played against 4 birds this weekend, but then I'm going to go to Nats, and what if I play against 2 Machina, 2 GBs, 4s, and it's just so hard to tell. It's you really can't metagame Edison as well as you would hope.
Yeah.
And so you really just got to decide, do you risk maining the Royal Oppression?
Well, not only... Yeah, can you actually tell me about why you decided to main both Oppression before a Solemn?
Yeah, okay, yeah. I've had this discussion before, so I know exactly what to say to where I don't get flamed. So I use Solemn Judgment as a second pulling the rug most of the time.
Okay.
With upside. So it's just pulling the rug, number 2, that also comes in other matchups like Dragon Turbo, for example, or Chain Burn, for example. Just kidding. But no, sorry, stop laughing at me. No, so yeah, so and it's funny that I say it as a second pulling the rug, because I played against Frog Monarchs in the final round of Swiss.
Okay.
And he tribute summoned a Vanity's Emptiness, and I had Judgment for it, and I was like, wow, this actually worked out, almost as if I could Destiny draw that card.
Right.
It was crazy. Yeah. I used to have 2 pulling the rugs, and I realized that Solemn is just pulling the rug with upside. So that's.
But you don't side I side Solemn against pretty much everything else besides birds. You don't side against everything else.
Well, I don't side it against Machina. I don't side it against birds, obviously. It's really just like frogs, and I do side it against Giga.
GBs.
Definitely
Yo.
GBs, yeah.
Yeah, so I was
Yeah.
just like, why are you like this? Just feels like better royal oppression. I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually like a pretty good point that I could consider moving into Nats. It is kind of just royal oppression sometimes, but with upside.
Yeah, everyone who
Yeah,
always
good point.
asks me is like, when
Mhm.
like, because I like double deck dev, but everyone asks me like, hey, I want to fit in royal oppression. Like, should I just take out the second deck dev? And I'm just like, I would always play the judgment first before an oppression.
Yeah, that's really smart. I mean, I'm gonna consider that for sure. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, and you
Um,
don't side the second deck dev. I just realized.
no, yeah, I'm a one deck dev guy. This is like I so I used to get clowned because I used to not play Trap Dust Shoot like in early 2023, like early 2024, sorry, late 2023, early 2024. I didn't play Dust Shoot because I'm tremendously unlucky and I would always draw it like super late game. But eventually, like now my mentality is switched to like I want the most amount of busted cards in my deck.
Yep.
Excuse me, because of the way that the format is. It's so fast, and like you being a really good player can only influence so much. So you want your cards to be like super unfair and powerful whenever possible. And I'm kind of still riding that theory on the second deck dev because I tried the Sizzle 41, and it was good, by the way. But
Not good
I,
enough.
I did I did open the multiple deck devs a couple times. I was like, is
Mm.
this just me being unlucky, or is it a statistical anomaly, or is it just like maybe not for me? So I
Yeah, I
I
mean,
did test it. I
if you
just
open
didn't
double
play it,
deck
but
dev, you could have opened double rolling. How many times you opened double rolling, bro?
yeah, good point. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that is a good point. But I'm not playing charge or
Right. Yeah,
sorcerer.
you Chaos Sorcerer is your favorite card. You're a
Chaos
dummy.
Sorcerer is my favorite
You're
card.
a
Yeah,
dummy.
yeah. Well, because like Chaos Sorcerer's already kind of mid if I'm maining double Royal Oppression.
Oh
And
yeah.
like, yeah, and I didn't want to play charge especially because I needed space. And like, I feel like if you're gonna play sorcerer, you have to play charge. I feel
Yep.
like they're mutually exclusive. So it just kind of worked out to where I just couldn't play either
Yeah, it
with
makes
this
sense.
particular configuration. And I felt really happy with the list, and I was playing really tight. Obviously, mainly on Saturday, I was like on it. I was feeling really. I was telling myself, I was like, if I win this event, I'll feel like I really deserved it. And then proved
You beat
myself
beast mode
very
too, didn't
wrong.
you?
Yeah, dude. Actually, so he sits down, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, no!" Like, ugh, he's like one of the best players I know, and he and I are
Yeah.
friends. Like,
I love beast
and he
mode.
like, yeah, I love beast mode too. But he did the thing where he like casually like strolled past the empty chair in front of me. He's like, "Nah, we're playing." And he sits down. And I was like, "Dang."
He's such a
And
troll.
and I was shocked to find out that he was on Vayu. So
Yep.
I was like, yeah. I was like, it actually like relieved the pressure even more because I'm obviously super comfortable in the mirror. It's probably the matchup I played the most. Same for you, I imagine.
Yeah, it's
So
one of
if
them.
he was
Yeah.
on like, yeah, if he was on like a brew of zombies that isn't like public or something, I would have been like way more like nervous and probably would have misplayed a little bit. But yeah, our match was super cool and it was really tense. It was only 2 games, but it was really tense. I felt like,
He said in a few discords. I don't know if you follow, if you like how often you're on Discord, but he said like you outplayed him because he was newer to Vayu, and he was like clapping everyone. But then as soon as he played you, he was like, "Oh, I'm getting experience diffed."
stop, no.
He said that, not me. I'm not. I'm just relaying what he said.
No, he's amazing, and I'm sure that match could have gone either way.
And then
Those are very kind words.
the last card in your side that's weird is System Down. Did you just throw that
Yeah,
in because you're like, this is my 15th card and I want a high impact card, or are you just actually afraid of Machina?
I am actually afraid of Machina, and because I had the space, like I can't like, yeah, I put it in there very deliberately for Machina. I've gotten clapped by it at like so many events over the last year, and I don't know if it's just that I played against two of them this weekend. I played against two of them in Anaheim, and I played against two of them in Anaheim in the main event, and then I
Oh
played against
yeah.
yeah, and then I played against one in the pod that I played too, and I was like, what the heck? This deck is everywhere now. And I was like, yeah, so I did want the third card, like the third like
Mm-hmm.
Haymaker card for it, because I know when I played the deck and when I play against the deck a lot, they always go for like they go for a lot of setup, like turbo milling as much as possible, and
Yeah.
then like eating away your back rows and stuff with Lilas and everything. But like by doing that, it enables system down really hard because you'll hit like multiple fortresses and grave and stuff. So it's like
Yeah, it's definitely the best
you
card
have
against them.
it is the best card as long as you don't get OTK'd or whatever. But which I did get OTK'd in game 2 against one of them. He had limiter removal for like
Jesus.
13,000
Did you
damage or
did you
something.
see
Yeah.
System Down this weekend?
No.
Oh, okay, so
I
it never
did
got
beat both of the
activated.
Machina players, yeah, but I didn't see it.
What was like your
Um,
MVP side deck card then? You think?
uh, um, I'm
They're
trying to
all
think of like what the like.
solemn,
Yeah, I
solemn,
brought every card in, which is good.
right?
But I think Solemn is the one that made me like really like. I think it was the one that had the most impact in the game where I saw it because I got to Solemn Judgment that Vanity's Fiend that would have sealed the
Yeah,
deal if it was like the second rug. Um,
yeah. I feel like it's
yeah.
normally like solemn or cyber dragon most of the
Mm-hmm.
time. Yeah.
Cyber Dragon's good just because you want to side out hamster sometimes. It's like,
Exactly, exactly. You were
yeah,
doing the thing before. I remember because you used to play Snowman Eater. You always like, I'm putting in Snowman Eater over Hamster. I'm like, dude, just put in Cyber
yeah,
Dragon.
yeah.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. Do you want to go over your matchups real quick? You have them?
Yeah. I have them written down right here. I'm a little fuzzy. I drank a lot after the tournament,
Hell
so it's a
yeah.
little,
Hell yeah.
it's a little fuzzy what happened. But in round one, my opponent sits down and he goes, "I know who you are," and I was like, "Oh damn it, he's probably a Machina." Because every time they say that, it's always like, "Yeah, I saw your Machina profile. Your deck is
You're
awesome."
famous.
And no. But he sits down. He's like, "Hey, I know who you are," and we talked. And he was a very sweet guy. And he like draws for turn, and he goes, "Summon Gear Frame," and I was like,
Of course.
"Well, of course, yeah." That one went 2-1. I don't remember the details exactly, but I just remember that it was a complete grind fest, and neither of us saw any sideboard cards. So it was just kind
Oh,
of like,
oh, sorry. No, finish your thought, and I have a quick question that I just
yeah,
thought of.
that's it. Just neither of us saw any sideboard cards. Games 1, 2, or 3. It was just like a complete like throwing haymakers at each other until somebody died.
You are the perfect person to ask since you played both Machina and Vayu.
Mhm.
Um, do you side in Crow against Machina?
No.
Yeah, okay, me neither.
No,
Yeah, me
no,
neither.
I don't. It's obviously you're never gonna smack just a raw fortress with it because like they can just find another
Yeah,
one.
exactly.
And
Thank
and it's
you.
only and it's only good versus Pot of Avarice and like they're usually against Vayu. I know I do it, and most of the people that play the deck do it. They side Pot of Avarice out against Vayu because
They
it's
side out
like
one of them probably. Yeah.
yes, they side out one or they only play two, and it's like like because you only have one good target for it. Like what if you they have like a really crazy turn where they have like charge and summon Lila, set a deep person pass, they mill 6 cards on their turn, they like do something whatever, and then Pot of Avarice on turn 2, and you're like you mill a crow or you draw it later, and it's like it's just really I don't think so.
Well,
I don't think
also
so.
it's like until Avarice is live, it's a -1 for them.
Yeah.
Your Crow sitting in your hand, if you do have it for Avarice, is -1ing yourself.
Yes.
So then until they finally activate Avarice, like good job, you were both like -1, and then you
Mhm.
finally win 1 for 1. So like I don't even. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
don't like it.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Either, yeah.
Yeah. I just bring in the 2 Cyber Dragons and the system down. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. Round 2, I played against Black Wings. He was a little bit newer. But he was from the area and he was talking about how he loves Edison, but he can't really like travel very much. And because he's like local, he was able to come play. The one like big thing about that match is that he bottomless he bottomless my Stardust.
Oof.
And because he thought that like because it banishes that like Stardust couldn't negate it. So yeah, I explained like, oh yeah, I know because X, Y, and Z says destroy first. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh okay. And then game 2, I'm up like 4 cards or something. And he has a lethal line, but it loses to both Torrential and Deep Prison. I'm sorry, Torrential and Mirror, and I did have Mirror.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like I probably would have done it too if I was in his shoes because he was like down a lot.
He was
of
down
cards.
bad. Yeah.
And then round 3 was Black Wings again. I don't remember a single thing about this match except that it was 2-1.
Nice.
Yeah. And then round 4, I played against Valhalla Fairies. Apparently there was
Oh
like
my
quite
God.
a few of them.
Really?
There's quite a few of them that were undefeated. Yeah, at this round. I think Gary played against one too.
OG.
OG 99. And then for this one, I was done with this one in like 10 minutes, and at no fault of my opponent, which is convenient because I really needed to use the restroom. But game 1, I DDV him for 5 cards on turn 2.
Hell yeah.
Which that's the tax you pay for playing fairies, of course. Everyone knows that. And then game 2, I trap dust shoot him and brick his hand with it. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
It was kind of a non-game. I felt bad, but and then round 5, I played against the Deslakuta Blackwing guy.
Oh, you beat him?
No, I lost. That was my one loss in Smith. And yeah, dude. But
Oh,
no, because
no.
there's a story. So Mind you, what I just told you about round 4. So round 5, I play against the Deslakuta guy, and he deck devs me for 5 cards.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh
and I was
no.
like, that's very unusual, but like, hey, it's only fair. I just did this to somebody else. So I sideboard for Vayumir because I think
Because you
he's on
think it's
Vayu because I didn't see any other like engines or anything, and then
wait. You didn't see like a Kalu, a Blizzard, a Deslakuta,
no. So
Whirlwind.
like the only
Holy
weird thing
moly.
that I saw,
Yeah.
yeah, the only weird thing that I saw was that he milled Ashura, and I know that in the
Right.
past some Vayu decks have played Ashura.
Yeah.
So I just sideboarded for Vayu, and then on turn or in game 2, he was like, my hand was like kind of whack. I think I just set bottomless maybe.
Uh huh.
I
Oh,
don't remember. Oh,
quick refresh.
no. I think it was deeper. I don't know. I set a trap, my only playable card, and then he goes Whirlwind Sure, and I was like, damn. Okay.
Oh no, you
Well,
just.
I got clowned, and he beat me. So he beat me 2-0 really fast. Also, it
You,
was like I wasn't even upset because I was like, I just did this to the Valhalla Fairy guy.
right.
Like it is what it is.
And you
But
probably didn't even sign like Dust Trails or anything because you think it's value.
nope, I didn't see anything. I didn't see the Deslakutas. It's funny because they were telling me like, yeah, there's a guy at the top tables with Deslakuta in his Blackwing deck. I was like, who? And they showed me. I was like, I played that guy.
You didn't even see the
So,
Deslakutas. Damn.
yeah, yeah. And then round 6, I played against Machina again, and he was the one that he had limiter removal for like 13k, and he puts out like a big old board of monsters, and then he goes, my plan is to go into battle phase and activate this, and he just shows me limiter, but it was the Altart limiter, the one with like Cyber Dragon, like
Oh yeah, the cool
reading
one.
like the, and I was like, activate what? And I lean over and I was like, oh, I'm super dead. I'm like, okay, we're going to the next one, but yeah. And then round 7 was beast mode. We talked about that one already.
Mhm.
I love that guy. And then round 8 was versus pure Frog Monarchs. This one was crazy. Probably like top 5 Edison games I've ever played.
Whoa.
Yeah. Game 1, he goes and makes he summons an early Vanity's Fiend after like whittling down my resources, and I was like, okay, so that's like unusual, but like I know that this probably means he's just on pure Frog Monarch, so he
Right.
kind of like gave away like the list a little bit with that play. So I knew how to sideboard his game 2 and 3, but he won with the vanities. Like I couldn't deal with it. And then game 2, I opened like the most unplayable slop ever.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, it was really bad. And like I look up, and Rob's looking at me like,
He's like,
I just
he's like, it's over.
he's like, you're cooked, bro. And I see an opening where I have to basically like dump my. So I needed to use all 4 of the cards in my hand, and I lose to Battle Fader, I lose to Gores, I lose to DD Crow, I lose to like any card he could possibly have.
Any hand trap.
And I just like, I just vomit my hand onto the table. I make like 2 arm wings and a Greffer, and I just attack with everything. And he's like, all right. And I was like, any effects? He's like, game 3. So
He's like, I just lost to a fucking
Like,
noob ass Value
holy
Turbo
crap.
player.
I could. It was my only play. My hand. It was like a Caius Greffer Burial.
Right.
So you see the play.
Slam.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Slam.
The slam. Yep. So
Yeah, you actually have a lot of sideboard hate too. I'm surprised you didn't see any.
yeah. Game 3 was even like more crazy because I would say it was like even more crazy because also, by the way, in game 2, my turn 1 play was like summon Card Trooper, mill 3. I milled Royal Oppression, Mask of Restrict.
Well, there's your sideboard
And
cards.
then, well, I do have my second Mask of Restrict in my hand.
Oh.
So I set it, and I pass, and his
Soul
first
Change,
turn of
Soul
the game
Change.
is Summon Breaker.
No way! You won that game? Oh
Yeah.
my god!
That's why I was like, dude, what is this timeline? But game 3 was like super back and forth, and like I find an opportunity to he drops scores. I find an opportunity to summon Arma and make Goyo and start like kind of taking stuff. And I ended up like very slowly inching back with the Goyo and winning with it.
Oh, he couldn't answer the
But, like,
Goyo.
Yeah.
What? How does he
And
not
then,
answer
like-
Goyo? Do you have any monarchs?
Well, I had the Solemn
Oh, okay.
for the So it was like it was really back and forth. I think he and I talked about it after. There was a pivotal moment where he preemptively crowed my Gardena
Okay.
on my turn.
On your
then-
turn? Oh, on your turn. Yeah.
So that And then like several turns later, he like if he had still had it for the plague spread, it would have been a completely different game. Um, so I do think it probably was better to hold the crow,
mhm.
because I mean, when I bring it in for the mirror, I always like hold it for plague. But yeah, so I think the game is completely different if he holds the crow. I don't know if he would have won necessarily, but
Right.
that was probably the pivotal moment. And then yeah, I already explained what happened versus Forg in top 8. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. 7-2 overall. Pretty nice. Pretty
hmm
nice. So,
Okay. I mean,
going forward, would you change anything? You think?
I'm definitely gonna try Solemn in the main over the Royal Oppression.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, I hope Rob doesn't watch this video because he's been trying to get me to do that for like forever. But
You know he's gonna watch the video.
gosh, yeah, I don't know. He didn't explain it the way you did, and I guess like that does make a lot of sense. I really hate paying the 4,000, but like,
Yeah, it sucks opening for sure. But so does
yeah.
oppression, kind of, unless you're playing as combo or GBs. But I don't know.
Oh, I always said it. Like, if I open Royal Oppression, I set it next to whatever other trap I have. Because if I get heavy, it's like it is what it is, and also like it's not good in some matchups anyway. So if I lose it, I lose it. I'd rather have it turn 1 for Substitute or like
Yep.
Gigabyte stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and if you get heavy, they're gonna combo off anyway, so oppression's gonna be dead
exactly.
anyway. Yep. Yep.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Well, if you set Solemn there.
A little different, yeah.
Okay, okay. Damn. Wow. So you keep system down still though?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you, what would you put instead besides this, like the second deck dev?
Yeah, I was gonna say second deck dev.
Of course you are.
We'll talk after this. I'm testing some spice I cannot leak,
Okay.
but I don't know if
Fair
it's
enough,
good.
yeah.
I don't know if it's good, but I'm testing some
No,
spice. And then,
always ready for spice.
this is just for my curiosity. How many what percent of the field do you think was combo? Because like I feel like combo
Very
is like
little.
yeah, no one's playing combo anymore.
Very
It's like
little.
dead, not dead, but you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
Like it. I feel like so there was a lot of GBs, a lot of Black. So it's like, and then like a decent amount of value, not as much as I thought, but it was a lot of GBs and a lot of value.
Yeah. How many?
I mean, sorry, GBs and Blackwings.
So how many times do you side in Crow?
I bring it in basically. I mean, Forgs and value. I do bring it into the mirror.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know you
and Giga,
don't.
right?
I bring it in. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I like it a lot, especially like I was on the fence about like taking it out completely or like going down to 1 or something, but
Yep.
then like because of Forgs, now I'm like back on the 2 copies. I like the 2 copies.
Yeah, but now that GVs are big, I don't like. I'm gonna disrespect. I really want to cut a Crow.
How do you side? Well, I guess I won't ask you publicly how you side versus that.
Well,
but
you can.
I bring
No,
in,
fuck it, fuck it. What? Ask. What are you gonna ask?
yeah, I was gonna ask how do you side versus GBs?
Versus GBs, the double cybers come in, double oppression come in, triple dust, solemn.
In Triple Dust. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Crow, low key against Prisma builds, I think might be fucking cooking, but I don't play against any GB Prisma builds, so I don't know.
Yeah, I watched Jake Mattern's video recently on how he sides versus Vayu, and I was like, God, this guy's so freaking smart. Like, no wonder he won an RBT. Like, God, and it made me like kind of it like threw off my mental chemicals on like how other people are now gonna like side versus Vayu because of like he posted that video and stuff. So
I didn't watch
I
that
like
video. I
the-
should probably watch that video.
watch that video. But yeah, against GBs, I just try and be like a mid range deck. I bring in like obviously the cybers, the dusts, and the oppressions, and the solemn, and I just try and like beat them down. Basically, I don't really try and get too fancy.
Yeah, I mean
against them and, like-
my whole game plan is to just like make it so we're at 2-2 cards, and hopefully and then I just summon like a 2000 guy, and like you better have an answer to this 2000 guy with 2 cards in hand because it's really hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
basically.
that sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be mid range. I'm trying to be Unga Bunga, Dust, MST, Bottomless D Prison, just all my 1-for-1s, and yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, and if you ever resolve an oppression like through a trap stun, like them not having trap stun, it's like pretty GG's.
Yeah. That being said, that matchup is hard for value in my opinion.
I don't like it at all.
I wouldn't say at
It's
all,
like-
but it is stressful. Like at any
Well-
it's so easy for it to pivot any direction.
It could, yeah, exactly. It could, that could tilt the scale could tilt in either direction. But what I was saying this weekend, because if I had beaten the 4 guy, I would have had to play the GB guy, and I was saying like, I hate playing as GBs because like none of their trap lineups are the same, everyone has a different. Every GB player has a different trap lineup. Am I playing around Shrink, Wabaku? How many Bookamoons? Like, Hedge Guard. Like, it's so hard to play around. Like what or think about what they could possibly have because all the builds are so different.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. It is pretty annoying. Most of them, like the ratios are all different, but most of the cards are the same at least. If that makes sense. But yeah, it is
Yeah.
very annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, what's your next tournament, bro? Nats?
I'm going to Nats.
Hell yeah.
Going to Nats, and then almost assuredly Chicago, of course, and then I should be going to Pittsburgh as well.
What's Pittsburgh? Is there a YCS Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it's in November.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well. Oh yeah. No. I do know this one. I do know this in Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that city. So I any chance I get to go to there. So
I've never been, but I'll probably go. Philly cruise there. So. Awesome, man.
Absolutely.
Any shout outs before we sign off?
Absolutely. I was hoping you'd ask. Yeah. So obviously, shout out Chili's. I'm so happy to be a part of that group chat, even though I'm not technically from Chicago. I love you guys. You're all the best. And of course, my like personal group chat for Orlando, you know, it's got Rob the Man, Cody, MSW, Shaggy Powers, Dom, all the homies. Ken is now in there, Jorge, everybody. I love everybody that's in there. And my wife is super awesome. She never complains when I go to these things, and she's super supportive, and she asks me how the tournament is and stuff, and she's just the best.
That's sick.
Special shout out to the backwards hat I wore at this event. I was channeling my inner Marcus Hayden.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, don't even start.
Do you want to shout out your store?
Yeah, come on. Okay, I wasn't done.
Oh,
I was gonna do my store last.
I thought you were done. I'm so sorry.
Sorry. No, it's okay. It's okay. Shout out also to Yggdrasil Materius. They're also the best. I love those guys and everything they do for us as well. And shout out Versus Games in Oviedo, Florida. That is my store. Buy from us on TCG Player. It helps a lot, and you know. Yeah.
All right, man. Dude, thanks for coming on the channel. I can't wait to see you next time. And yeah, I can't wait till you get your win because you definitely deserve it, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
All right. With that said, peace out, guys. Thanks for watching.